Hey guys, welcome back to Life of Randy. I'm Randy. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. I post videos about alopecia, about motherhood, and I do some vlogs here and there. So if this is something that you're interested in, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you are notified whenever I drop a new video. If this is not your first time, welcome back. When his pediatrician said that it was okay for him to eat solids, then we started making him some food here and there. And we went to the store to see what was being sold, like what were the first stages foods, like apples and bananas and anything like of a singular item, I believe, is a first stage food. And that's usually from 3 months to whenever. There's also lists that you can ask your pediatrician for. We didn't. I don't know why, and we still haven't. We just go with, let's try this, let's try that, let's mix things together. So we started with like apples and sweet potatoes. He had like pears. We did a couple things with bananas, but we realized that he breaks out when he eats bananas. So we're waiting a little bit to try again. Something that he really, really loves are apples, and that's 100% from his dad. I'm not an apple person. I definitely don't keep the doctor away, but he loves apples. So I'm always making apples for him. And I have this really cool baby food maker that I got from my baby shower, and I'm so thankful to the people who got it for me. They know who they are. Hey. And I wanted to bring you guys along as I'm making his food for today. So today I'm going to be making him apples with blueberries and cinnamon. Apples are really good in fiber and can also help in digestion and lowering blood pressure. And cinnamon is really good for gut health and can also have some antiviral properties. And when it comes to blueberries, they're really high in antioxidants. So I've decided to just put all three together, and he loves it. He finishes it all together. Whenever I make sweet potato and he doesn't want to eat that, I just mix all of them together and he eats it really quickly and loves it. But definitely check with your health provider, your child's health provider, before making this. I'm just showing you guys what I make for my son. And I don't have measurements per se, but I will tell you guys how much of what I'm using and what that's going to yield. So let's make some baby food for my son. This is the tabletop appliance that I'm using. This is the Babymoov. It comes with 2 steaming baskets, and then it has a blender here. And with the steaming basket here, you pour the water into here, and then you put this receiving basket here. And then if you're not making that much food, then you can just put 1 basket in, and then you set up your steaming time, like if you want to steam, if you're sterilizing bottles, if you're defrosting, or if you're using this side, you're using the blender. So if you're using the blender, there are different stages, and it shows you in the book what age with what stages, but you should also check with your health provider for your child to see what's best for your child. You can do like a 1, a 2, a 3, 3 being the most mixed. And then if you do a 1, it's like chopped pretty much. And then a 2 is in between. The blender here has like a little stopper, that way if things are splattered, then they're not like all in your all in the lid. It just like catches this thing here, and then you put the lid on. I didn't put it back, but you put the lid on, and then to blend you just press on this thing. I'm not gonna do it now because it scares Luca, and I tried to do it just like when I need to, but it just goes right on there. And almost all of the pieces are dishwasher safe. Pretty much everything that you can take off from the machine is dishwasher safe at the on the top level of the dishwasher. But yeah, this is what I use to make the baby food. And I'll have the link of the Babymoov in the bio for you. It is a little bit on the more expensive side, but if you think about it, of the baby food, like a baby container, for example, like this one is going to cost you between like $129 and $179 depending on where you go. So if you think about it, your baby eats like 2 of those during the day, like to start. So if you have to get like 14 of them per week, that's a good $25. So after a couple of months, you already spent the price of the Babymoov. So it is up to you. Obviously, I'm not in your pocket, I'm not in your bank account, but I would say if you're looking for something that is going to give you control over what you're feeding your child, I definitely recommend this. It is work, but it has to be for somebody who wants to make food for their child at home, because obviously there are different options for baby food out there. So you don't have to make it at home, but I would say if you want to make it at home, this is a really good purchase. It is a very long one, so that way you can use it for a year or 2, depending on how long you're going to be feeding your child purees and things like that. Or you could just steam the food here. I cook a lot, so I don't want the things that he's not ready for to touch his food. So that's why I purchased this. But definitely, sorry if I'm moving a lot, but definitely if it's something that you're planning to do, feeding your child at home, I recommend this. I love it. I use it at least twice a week for his food, and it's very easy to clean up. I literally just rinse it. I don't even put it in the dishwasher because I don't need to. So it is up to you, but yes, I do recommend. Did I say that I recommend it? Because I do recommend it. I love this thing. So I'm going to be using 2 apples. You can get any apple that you think your child would like. He usually likes the Honeycrisp apples. These are a little bit smaller than usual, but I'll still use these. And I just core them. Apple seeds obviously are a choking hazard, so make sure not to have any seeds around. What I do is I just slice it in little pieces like so. And I just put it in the basket. You want your pieces to be similar sizes, that way they can cook all at the same time. That way you don't have crunchy pieces and soft pieces. So usually at the end, 2 apples will fill this basket, but since these are smaller apples, then it didn't. Okay, so I have my apples ready. My water is in the container and it needs to cover this part or else it's going to start beeping, and there's a light that's gonna come here. That means that you need to add water. So now I placed my receiving container, and this container is going to receive all of the water that's going to be steamed through and come out from the apple through the little holes here. I'm just gonna place my basket at the top of this. And for the cinnamon, I'm just using organic ground cinnamon, and I kind of just eyeball it. You don't want too much cinnamon. It's about half a teaspoon. We're not making apple pie. So my machine is plugged in. I'm going to turn it on. And for apples, I usually do 20 minutes. So I go to the steam and it's already at 20 minutes, but if you want to lower it, you can. If you want to add some time, you can. 20 minutes has been a really good consistent time to cooking the apples, to steaming the apples, so I haven't changed it. So now that I have it on, it's going to be blinking, and that's how I know that the timer has started. So I can let it do its thing. It's going to start steaming and it's going to start cooking the apples. So while my apples are cooking, I have half a cup of blueberries that are waiting. I usually set a timer for 15 minutes. That way the apples cook the first 15 minutes and then I add the blueberries. You don't want to put the blueberries at the same time or else you won't get any of the blueberries left. It'll just be like juice pretty much. So I cook the apples almost all the way through, then I add the blueberries. Then once it's done, I blend it all together. So I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's done cooking. Also, sometimes depending on the blueberries that you get, they might still have some stems on there. So just go through the blueberries just a little bit to make sure that you're not blending some stems out. I mean, it's good fiber for the baby, but you know, try and clean it up a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so our apples are steaming up. As you can see, there's like steam coming out. You got some bubbles here. And then if you get closer, you can actually hear there's some good ASMR. So we have 5 minutes left in our steaming. So I'm just going to add my blueberries right at the top. I didn't catch all the stems. And then just close it back. These are the stems that I was talking about. Depending on how much you blend, for example, if you're at like a 2 or, yes, my hand is very dry. Don't focus on my hand. Just focus on the stem. If you're blending at a 1 or a 2 and you leave that in, that could be dangerous. So just as a habit to remove the stem before placing it into your basket. Once everything is done steaming, you'll hear that beeping sound. And you can see the blueberries are perfectly cooked, the apples are perfectly cooked, and they are ready to go in the blender. I have to hurry up because Luca is getting restless. Now that it's all done steaming, I should say, I'm going to put it into blender mode, and I have it at 3, which is where it's supposed to be. And it comes with this little spatula / spoonish thing to transfer things left and right. And also what you do here, okay, you drop everything. So in here you have the liquid that was in here that steamed all of the apples and blueberries, and then it drops back into here. So I usually put a little bit of that in here. And the rest of it, I use it as juice for Luca. I mix it with some water because it's very concentrated, it's very sweet. So I usually do like a 1-to-1 ratio. And that way it introduces him to more water, but also he gets some juices out of it. So he's still getting the benefits from the liquid and the solids. So now the fun part. To blend, all you have to do is just press this for however long. There you have it. Baby food. What is it? They need to subscribe to Mama's channel. I don't know where he got this from. So for containers, I just recycle and reuse the containers that we buy. Sometimes if we're out and I run out of milk or he doesn't have any solids with him, we'll just stop by a store and grab a couple of these. I get the ones that only have the ingredients of what I see on the label. So if you see here, it just says sweet potato. And that is all that I get. Sometimes it'll have citric acid, all these other things, and I'm just like, I don't need all of that. I really just want sweet potato, as if I was making it at home. But anyways, so these are the containers that I have for it, and instead of throwing them out, I just reuse them for the food that I make at home. So I have my puree right here, and I have a spatula, and I'm just going to put it into the containers, about the same amount. As you can hear, Luca is getting restless, and it has this really nice spout. That way you can transfer directly into the containers. I usually can get 3 out of it. It's just these apples were really small. So usually with 2 apples and about half a cup of blueberries, I can get 3 containers. So there you go. I have 2 containers and I have the lids here. And I have the lids here, but I'm gonna let it cool just a little bit. I went to get Luca. So here I have half a cup of the juices, and I'm just gonna add the same amount of water, and I'm going to fill both of these up with the water juice mixture. He's ready to take it. So there you have it. This is like a homemade juice and homemade food puree for your baby. There you have it, guys. This is how I make homemade baby food for my baby Luca, who is 9 months old. I hope that this has been helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and share with other parents that are thinking of making food at home. It is something that I considered while I was pregnant, but at the same time I wanted to be realistic. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough time, but once I discovered this Babymoov, I think that it just became the lifesaver that I needed. This is a great way to make your baby's food. That way you know exactly what goes in it from beginning to end. These are ingredients that you can get from home that are already there with you. If it's not apples, maybe it's bananas, maybe it's strawberries or peaches. So you just always have some fruits on hand, and you may not be able to eat all of it at once. So might as well cook some of them and blend them for the baby, and you can even freeze them. So I definitely recommend doing this from home, and I don't think that you'll be disappointed. I actually just finished editing this video and I realized that I didn't close out. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.